Today. Like right now today. If that was true, then... I couldn't keep her waiting. I told Twyla I would meet her at the cemetery as I rushed out of the house. The bus to the city couldn't come quickly enough. Luckily, I was able to meet up with Twyla within the hour. I had been waiting on the sidewalk outside the cemetery when she pulled up in a car next to me. Surprisingly, she was the one driving it this time, instead of having someone else drive it for her. I jumped into the passenger side, not even questioning anything until I got inside. Where are we going, actually? She didn't answer me. She seemed very intent on driving. I think if her hands gripped that wheel any harder, it would snap. The setting sun welcomed us as we finally pulled up to... Reginald's apartment building. Twyla? She parked the car, got out, and then yanked me out as well. The grip she used on her steering wheel was now tight around my wrist as she hurriedly stomped us up to the door. I nearly tripped over my own 2 feet before I was able to catch her rhythm. Twyla! I called out, but she didn't seem to be listening. Twyla! Twy! What is this about? What did you do? Without turning to face me, she said, Remember how you told me it smelled bad when you visited Reginald's apartment last? Yeah, but it was the rats, remember? Twyla didn't say anything after that. After we entered the building, Twyla took me up to a door in the front. The door was creaked open slightly with a faint green glow leaking through. The smell from last time lingered, but it was even stronger now. It seemed to permeate throughout the hall. It was somehow faint, and yet terribly strong at the same time. This is the apartment of the landlady, Twyla said flatly. Go ahead. Take a look inside. Why? Do it. I didn't want to, already fearing what would be behind that door, but it looked as though I wasn't even being given a choice. Feeling heaviness in my chest and legs, I made my way over to the door. I tried not to touch it as I leaned my head forward and peeked inside, and regretted what I saw. I felt my heart sink even deeper into my chest as my throat struggled not to go dry. Are you telling me that smell from before was... Absolutely. I felt sick. It was Reginald's own apartment and his landlady, but I still had trouble believing it was really him. Until, as if this evidence against him wasn't damning enough. I turned to Twyla as she pulled a pair of gloves and put them on. She moved past me and opened the door, talking to me as she did so. When you went inside Reginald's apartment that day, I had gone around and talked to whatever neighbors of his happened to be home. They said the smell had been around for days. They filed complaint after complaint but never got a response. They figured their landlady was too lazy to call someone to take care of it. That didn't sound right to me. So I had a special friend of mine come in to help determine what was really going on, and we found this. Has she just been sitting here the whole time, Twy? Why didn't you call someone? And who's this friend of yours? What's happening? Well, I had to make sure I was right first. They helped me determine the cause of death was due to food tampering, with traces of that same antifreeze-like substance from before. And if that wasn't enough, Twyla bent over and picked something off the ground. What do you think of this? I have to say, I'm surprised. He made it hard to get concrete evidence for him, and then just what? Got ahead of himself? Let himself slip? I suppose I shouldn't be complaining. Makes my life easier. I just find it curious, that's all. I couldn't believe it. All the evidence was right in front of me, but still, Reginald had always been so nice. Could he have really? I was alone with this man at times. He found me sleeping in the cemetery by myself once. But he never hurt me. Even when given the opportunity to do so, Could it really, all this time? My head swirled with thoughts and emotions as Twyla exited through the door to meet me in the hallway once again. Okay. We have very strong evidence against him. Now what? Do we finally go to someone else with it now? Twyla opened her mouth to talk to me, but I watched as her gaze moved past and behind me. Her mouth hung open a few seconds longer as her eyes reacted, and I already knew what that meant. I turned around to be greeted by none other than Reginald himself. He was carrying grocery bags in his arms and wore a smile on his face as if nothing was wrong. Something was definitely wrong. Hello, girls. Didn't expect to see you here this late. Or rather, at all, for that matter. How do you do? Why are you staring at me like that? Is something the matter? Stop playing dumb. I beg your pardon. We know it's you. Twy. Who is what me? Whoa, what? You've heard the rumors, haven't you? About a serial killer in town? We know it's you. Me? Oh, Twyla, darling, that's not very funny to joke about. Are you fucking serious right now? I told you stop playing dumb. Why, do tell me. Twyla, if I really was the killer, what would stop me from killing you right now, then? This. Reginald and I both took a step back in shock as Twyla pulled out a gun she had been concealing. What was going on here? Was she always carrying that? Let me explain to you how this is going to go down. We're not going to call the police. We're not? Nope. Reginald is going to turn himself in. If he refuses, then I'm going to shoot him right here and now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I ran past Twy and put myself in front of Reginald. I don't know what I was thinking, and I truly felt that when I realized I was right in her line of fire, God forbid she slip. But I couldn't have her shoot Reginald out of nowhere. Twyla, wait. Can't we talk about this for a minute? You're getting way too ahead of yourself here. What if he didn't do it after all? What if this is just a whole misunderstanding? Twyla just stared at me, gun still firm in her hand. I knew that if she wanted to shoot Reginald, she'd have to go through me first, but with the way she was looking at me right now, it felt as if she wouldn't mind having to. Please, Twy, put the gun away. Maybe if we just marry, duck. Huh? And then everything was dark. I can only guess Reginald hit me with something. I suppose that's what I get for standing in front of him. I could tell it was a while before I opened my eyes, and when I did, all I could feel for a few seconds was the terrible ringing pain in my head. It took a bit to adjust to the light, but I was eventually able to see, even if just a bit. I was in some sort of laundromat, it appeared. It was old and run down. I don't even know how we got in. I was tied to some sort of post with rope, preventing me from moving my arms. And in front of me was Reginald himself. He was turned away from me, so he didn't recognize I was awake yet. But I could see him breathing heavily, like he was nervous. And faintly, I could hear him rambling to himself. I couldn't make out his words, though, despite how quiet everything was except for him. Eventually, he began pacing, and that's when he noticed I was awake. Oh, good morning, doll. How are you feeling? I didn't hit you too hard, did I? Reginald, it's really... I felt my words get caught in my mouth. What could I possibly say in a situation like this? Reginald approached me. I felt my stomach twist with each step he took towards me, and I felt my breath shorten as he leaned down in front of me. He placed a hand on my face, and I had no choice but to look at him. Reginald, please don't be scared. I'm not going to hurt you, I promise. Is it really you? Do you think I would hurt you, Mary? Please, I want to know. Did you kill all those people? Would you be upset with me if I did? You look nervous. Please stop worrying. I promise it's all going to be okay. I mean, you've been so happy, right? All those funerals. You've been able to enjoy them, haven't you? The way you complete them. It's all been to make you happy. Haven't you been happy? Reginald, what are you talking about? Eventually, Reginald stood back up again. He took a deep breath and straightened out his coat. You know, this wasn't my plan. But you can't always plan for everything, you know? So, I'll go and make it work, okay? Stay right here and don't go anywhere. I promise. I'll be right back. And just like he said, he left, leaving me stranded here waiting for his return. What was I going to do? I really messed up now, huh? Twyla was right all along. Is she okay? I hope I didn't mess it all up for her again. Twyla had a gun, though, so hopefully she's okay. If only I hadn't been so stupid. Then maybe I wouldn't be in this situation. Right as I was beginning to fear all hope was lost, I felt a buzz against my back. My phone. That was definitely my phone. I'm surprised he didn't take it away. Although, not like I could reach it from my position, but maybe. I started shifting all around, trying to get the last rope loose. I doubted I would be able to, but I tried regardless. At the very least, if I could get to my phone or something, maybe I had hope. I just hoped Reginald wouldn't come back before then. And then out of nowhere, it seemed like the rope just fell off. I was confused. Did he not tie it that tight? I mean, I guess he did say he didn't want to hurt me. With the rope off, I rushed towards the front entrance. I pulled hard on the handles. Locked. Even though I could have sworn Reginald left this way. I tried all the back doors and side doors too, but it was no use. I was just trapped in a bigger cage. But I did have my phone. So trying to calm my nerves, I sat back by the post and took it out. I was about to call the police when I saw my phone full of messages from Twyla. They were still going. It seemed she was okay after all. Twyla. Oh fuck, you're finally answering. I've been trying to get a hold of you forever. I see he didn't gut you yet. Twy, I'm gonna call the police. Don't. Not yet. I need you to trust me, okay? Really fucking trust me this time. As uneasy as it made me feel, I trusted Twyla. Even if she does things in an underhanded way at times, she's always had the best intentions. When I didn't trust her, things usually didn't go well for us. So I'm going to trust her now. Because even if she doesn't want to be, that's what friends do. Where are you right now? Honestly, I don't know. A laundromat. What? Describe it to me. I don't know, there's like laundry machines and all. It looks like it hasn't been used in ages. There's no signs or anything. Can you see outside? Describe what's surrounding the building you're in. Okay. I gave Twyla descriptions of everything nearby, even though there didn't seem to be much. Despite this, it seemed as though all of it made perfect sense to her. I know where you are now. I'm going to be there soon. But all the doors are locked. How are you going to get in? I have a plan for that. Don't worry. Just sit where you are and keep pretending to be kidnapped. Okay. Eventually, he came back, just like he said he would. Oh, good. You're still here. I mean, of course you are. I hope I didn't leave you bored, darling. Like I said, I just had something to take care of first. But as I said, everything is going to work itself out, okay? Reginald once again took a step towards me. I had no idea what he was going to do. He reached his hand towards me and... Twyla burst in, just in time. She immediately shot Reginald in the leg. It took her one perfect hit. One hit, and he was down. It was so easy for her. Reginald fell to the ground without a scream. He was huffling heavily, blood oozing from his leg as Twy came to untie me. What did you think of my rope work, Reginald? I had to make sure you didn't suspect anything, so I tied her pack up best as I could. I'll admit, I'm a bit rustier than you, though. Reginald didn't say anything, of course. About time they showed up. You actually got the police this time. Yeah, I didn't want to, but it seemed like this was going to be the quickest way to take care of it all. I'm gonna go outside and talk to them. You stay in here with Reginald really quickly while I explain things. Wait, what? Why can't I go out there with you? Trust me. Okay. Also here. Twyla walked over to me and gave me... Wait, I can't use this. You probably won't need to. It's just in case he tries anything. The 2 minutes I'm out of here. Okay. I accepted as she passed the gun into my hands. It felt cold and uncomfortable, but I held it tight as Twyla exited the front door. I have no idea what's going on, and I'm very bothered by this. I looked down at Reginald, who was still writhing a bit on the floor. He didn't say anything until... Mary. Oh no. Reginald slowly tried to get up, though his leg was obviously holding him down. So stop moving. I'll shoot. I will. Mary, darling. It's okay. I said I wasn't going to hurt you, didn't I? I just want to share something with you. I just really want you to know. I watched as Reginald stood on his own 2 feet. My feet felt frozen in place while the gun shook in my trembling hands. Where was Twyla already? Reginald shuffled towards me. He reached his hands out to calm mine, and I was held there by him, as he told me something I'm not sure I'll ever forget. Or even understand. You know? I know you. adore the idea of death and whatnot. At least that's how it appears to me. So I just wanted to let you know. Death is not at all what you've been made to believe it is. I promise you. It is not an eternity of dreams or nightmares. It is not comforting. It is not warm. So please, 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 Mary, do me a favor and stop killing me. Okay? Lost in his words, I found myself unable to react as he wrapped his hands around mine, took the gun from my trembling fingertips, and pressed the barrel to his temple. It's been a month since that day. My therapist says I'm getting better at dealing with the memories from it. Things have been much different ever since the incident. For one, there seems to be much fewer deaths around the city. So I guess that means I don't like to think about it much, but I am at least happy that things are much calmer now. I don't think I noticed it before, but I do see a lot more people walking around than before. But maybe that's because the weather has been uncharacteristically nice lately, too. Oh, right. Speaking of things that have been different lately, the number that used to text me stopped around that time, too. And I still don't have a clue about where my parents are. Thinking about it too much makes me worry, but my therapist has been helping me feel a lot calmer about it all. It was true what Twyla said to me that night, that she didn't really intend to talk to me anymore after we caught the killer. Because she doesn't really. She never messages me anymore. Occasionally, I'll message her first, but less than half the time will I get an answer back. And even when I do, it's usually only because I asked her a question about something I was curious about. But it actually doesn't bother me all that much. Not as much as I thought it would. Because sometimes I'll see her outside, in the library or at the park, and every time she notices me too. And although she never says anything, she always waves at me. And I appreciate it. I do. Twyla was never much of a people person, I know that. Friendship didn't ever seem like something of importance to her. So in that sense, getting away from her is more than okay with me. Speaking of Twyla, I was actually headed down to the library to return some books after my session, and maybe pick up some more. When I see Twyla in the library, I try to sit near her, and for me at least, I always have a pleasant time reading with her. So, I'll see if she wants to come today too. And that's the good end of Twyla's route. Fairest weather, friends. If you've been sticking with this series at all, thank you very much for your kind attention. At the time of this recording, Arcadekitten's next game, Blackout Hospital, comes out in just a few days. And by the time this video goes up, it will have been out for a little while. And I do definitely plan on playing that game. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, I have a lot to think about and process about this last ending, and it's something I might be able to go into more detail into with a more focused, clear head in the next episode, the last episode. So, again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Until then, bye for now.